Hi, in this YouTube video I'm going to explain about Drools framework, Java framework. It is one of the best frameworks for processing rules of any business application. Every day, whenever you are using any application, you may need to introduce some rules as part of your business, right? You take a banking application, for example. So for any banking applications, the repo rates, loan interest, credit card application interest rates, or the compound interest, or whatever the interest, the bank will have the many interest rates, and they are not constants, right? Every day they will change dynamically. The data will change depending on the RBI regulations and all. So when the data is changed, right, then bank needs to reapply those rules. If you are going to hard code those rules, it would be very difficult for any client to manage the applications, right? So you are not supposed to hard code these rules. If you are going to hard code the rules, so tomorrow if the rules are going to change because the RBI introduced a new interest rates, then banks, all the banks, national banks, they have to override that interest rates as per the RBI regulation. So if the new rule introduced, you cannot again check out the code of particular banking application. You cannot add any additional rights or modify the code, or you cannot hard code it, right? If you are going to do that, it is a kind of tedious process. It is not a recommended approach, right? So because every day the rules may change, the policies may change for banking applications. So interest rates or rules, policies, they may change every day. The new policies may be introduced. So in those scenarios, it is not recommended way to hard code the things. So getting it right, the thing is, how can you introduce rules into your applications dynamically without changing or updating your code? You just need to update the rules file or any configuration so that the application will pick the new rules without modifying the code or restarting the code. How do you do that? Here is the approach. Drools engine is the Java framework where you can actually dynamically configure the rules. It is more of a English-like language. It is very straightforward and English-like language, and very understandable, user understandable. Even client also, the client who is not aware of the technical part of the applications, they can still understand the rules. What are the rules that are there configured? Even the common user can understand it, and they can modify, they can update the rules, and after that they can actually either restart the system, or they can place this rules file somewhere in third-party repository location so that the application can pick it. So it is very straightforward. So I want to explain how you can utilize this Drools concept. I'm going to take a simple example where the application will process the tax processing. It is a tax processing application, simple application. So depending on the tax slab rate, so you're going to process the tax of a particular employee. So first thing is you need to create the model class. So I'm going to take a model class. You can see that it is having the properties: employee name, age, and the state that employee belongs, and also annual income, how much income the employee is earning per annum. Exempted status, whether the employee is exempted from the stat based on the different scenarios. You know that, right? generally employee tax exemption rules are there. So when do we exempt the tax? In case if that particular person is disabled person, there is a tax exemption. If the particular person is a senior citizen, there is a tax exemption. In case if the employee is having a house loan or some other loan, so there are many tax exemption policies under 80C section. You can see that as per income tax rules of the government of India. Okay, so the thing is, I'm going to take a simple employee class, and there are the 5 properties. You can see we're going to inject this data through constructor, and we have getter methods for this, because we are already setting data through constructor, hence we did not specify the setter methods. Okay, this is a simple model class, and we need to have a tax result, the final result, right? So we're going to calculate the tax, so that is why we declared some property using a double. And here you can see we are going to declare Drools files. This is the important thing, how we are going to create a rules here. So you need to create a rules under the package rules. So there is a package, or created a package with the name rules, and inside that you need to create a file with extension .drl. It is a Drools files. Okay, rules files. So in which you specify all the rules that you want to process. So we need to import the employee class, tax result class, both the models. And you see here, first you need to specify the rule name. What is the rule name? It is simple English like language, it is very user understandable, very readable. You can see it is, there is no any confusion here. What is the rule name here? Tax exempt employee is the rule name. It is in English specific, English language, simple understandable language. That is the significance of Drools framework. Okay, and the condition is when the employee is exempted equal to true, return the tax rules, and you are going to set the tax as 0. Right? This is a simple rule. And there is another rule: whenever the income is between 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, you are going to set the tax percentage with the 0.10. You see here, you are multiplying the annual income with 10%. Tax slab with under 10%. So you want to multiply 0.10 because tax slab is under 10%. If any employee's annual income is greater than 5 lakhs, greater than 5 lakhs and less than 10 lakhs, so that employee will fall under the tax slab of 10%. That is why we are actually multiplying the annual income with the 10%. 10% is 0.10. This is the rule. So rule will have a name, rule will have when condition and then condition and end tag to indicate that rule is ended. Okay, it is very straightforward. So you can see under when condition there is a $E expression. So you need to specify the rule there, and $R result. You are going to return a tax result. What is the result here? The object of tax result class. Okay, so it will automatically, the rules framework, it automatically does the if else condition checking here, and if the condition meets, then it will result the object there. What object it is resulting? You are setting a setter attribute. You can see annual income dot, or multiplying with the 10% of the slab. So you can see here, if income tax is greater than 10 lakhs, again you are going to create another rule. So here, if annual income greater than 10 lakhs, exempted equal to false, and the result is you need to multiply the annual income with 0.20 or 20%, right? If senior citizens are there, so you are subtracting 30,000. You are giving exemption for 30,000 if he is a senior citizen, and age should be greater than 60 years. Okay, and you can create the rules even for disabled person also. The disability rate is percentage is greater than 80%, then you are going to give an exemption of 1,25,000 as per the income tax department. So this is how you do it. And the Java service, you need to get the object for factory of key services, KIE services. It is an inbuilt class for Drools framework. So you're going to get the factory object KS, and after that you need to get the container, key container, okay, key container, KIE container. How do you get a KS dot get key class path container, and you will get the container. From the container you need to get the session, so Drools session. First you are getting the Drools factory object, after that you are getting Drools container, and after that you need to get the session object for Drools, and you need to insert all these rules, okay, all the POJOs, whatever the models you declare, you need to insert this model there, and after that you need to fire all the rules. So here the rules file will automatically read by this factory, this container, so it will read that, and it will actually fire all the rules against this particular employee model and tax result model. That way it will set automatically all the rules will be fired, will be validated against these models, and the final result, end result, will be set to the setter properties of this particular models. So after the session is completed, you need to dispose that session. This is very straightforward, simple, and this way, you see, this is how if employee you are going to insert some record here, John, with the name, who's having 60 years or 30 years, 40 years, you can take anything, okay, and Telangana, you can specify Telangana state, and the salary is 1,20,000, and I want to set the false statement, false. Here you can see the exempted, initially we are setting false. Based on the rules, it will be set as a true or false, okay, and the rule engine will be specified here. Okay, 30,000 will be subtracted finally. You can see it is greater than 12 lakhs is there, so his employee is coming under the 20% slab, so tax is calculating for 20%. 20% is calculated. Also 30,000 will be deducted because he is a senior citizen, you can say 65, and the final plain text, tax, you can see 2 lakhs 10,000, okay. So that is the thing, you are going to calculate the tax amount. You see here what we are doing, we are actually separating the business rule from application code, okay. So you are going to separate out the business rules. You can dynamically specify the business rules whenever you want. Let's say I told you example, if RBI introduce a new rule, you can introduce a new rule. The Indian income tax of India is introduced new rules, right? You can simply specify the rules there in the file. You don't need to update the code. So that's how this would be useful. Thank you for listening.